Hello, everyone. Welcome to our NHL and NBC studios. This is the Push for the Playoffs. It is our new YouTube show. Liam McHugh, Mike Milbury, Keith Jones. We are down to the final few days of the regular season. Here is the lineup for episode number 5. Montreal Canadiens, they missed the playoffs 2 of the last 3 seasons, but they are right there, tied for that final wild card spot points-wise. But on the outside looking in, the Capitals, they lose Michael Kempny. The Dallas Stars punch their ticket to the postseason, and a central showdown where there's potential, a lot of movement with the top 3 teams. Let's start with the Montreal Canadiens. As I mentioned, tied with Columbus, but on the outside looking in, playoff-wise, they are right there. They are so close. Amazing atmosphere for them against the Lightning in that win that they had. They needed. Do you think they get in?
I don't, and boy, is it a tough one. It is a flip of a coin with Columbus playing well recently up until their loss against Boston, and Carolina finding ways to win games. I think Montreal is going to run out of gas, just most importantly based on who they have to play. The Capitals in Washington before returning to play against the Toronto Maple Leafs at home. And the Maple Leafs, although the game is virtually meaningless, will still get up for a game against the Canadiens, their arch rival, and they're going to make sure that they do their part in keeping the Canadiens out of the playoff. But they have Price, and they have Weber, and they've got Domi flying, and they've got a style of play that's very difficult to contain, and they've been at their best when they've been underdogs, and I would think they're underdogs in the next 2 games.
It's out of their control, and so therefore I don't really like their chances. Columbus has a fairly advantageous schedule, and I think Carolina's going so good that it shouldn't be a problem. But it has been fun to watch them play. Great speed, great intensity, and I will miss them if they don't make the playoffs because, as we were just talking about earlier, such a incredible atmosphere. Everybody that plays in this sport needs to play under the pressure of a playoff game in Montreal to get the complete experience.
Canadians just trying to get into the playoffs. For teams that are already in, they say, we just want to get there and be healthy. The Washington Capitals know that they're not going to have Michael Kempny out 4 to 6 months, tore his hamstring. How do they deal with it?
What a shame. Well, they did pick up Nick Jensen at the deadline, so that's going to help him. He's got some pretty good wheels. It's going to put extra pressure on John Carlson. But this is one of the feel-good well, that's not one of the feel-good moments, but this is Kempny involved right here, and this was a guy that they relied on heavily down the stretch run, a huge part of their Stanley Cup playoff, and now with this injury, they just have to deal with it. It's unfortunate the timing was off, but 4 to 6 months is a long time, so clearly not coming back, and they're going to have to rely on other guys, including Jensen, to get the job done.
Asking a lot out of John Carlson. I thought Kempny was terrific in partnering up with John Carlson last year and for much of this regular season. Carlson has some deficiencies in the defensive zone that Kempny was able to erase with his great skating ability. So it'll be interesting to see how that top pairing for Washington looks moving forward. And some of their defensemen are getting a little older, including Brooks Orpik.
All right, let's bring it to the Western Conference. A few years ago, Dallas Stars were the #1 seed. Looked like they were on the rise, and then they missed back-to-back postseasons, but they have now clinched a playoff berth this time around. Dallas is dangerous because what?
Because they defend extremely well, no matter which goaltender is in net, and Ben Bishop being injured right now seems like a huge problem, but Hudobin has been great all year for them. They've done a very good job from the forward position and playing in the defensive end, and you have to give their star players credit for that. Radulov's done a great job and is one of those players that seems to rise to the occasion, has had very good international competitions in big moments. Jamie Benn has played really well in the D zone and has had great efforts in setting up goals for that guy, Tyler Seguin, along the way. And you have to love the maturity of both Seguin and Ben dealing with the adversity earlier in the season and finding their games, not just going out there trying to get points, but playing extremely well in the D zone and bringing a lot to the table for the Dallas Stars.
Central Division could have 5 teams into the playoffs. The top 4 teams in the Central Division have already clinched berths, and the race for the top 3 is extremely interesting. When you look at Winnipeg, Nashville, and St. Louis, any of those teams could wind up on top. This is the remaining schedules for these 3 teams. Felt like this was the Jets division. Like they were going to run away with it. Maybe Nashville would challenge, but here's St. Louis. Who do you have?
I have Winnipeg still, and I'm not sure why. I mean, on paper, they should be the team to pick because they've got size, they've got strength, they've got scoring. I mean, somebody like Wheeler can get the job done. He's a world-class player now, has really figured it out since he left Boston. Scheifele is a tremendous player, and they just get back. Big Buff. Bufflin is back in the lineup, and he's as tough as nails. And you know, you don't want to fight him if you're going to have the result be this. They're strong, they're experienced, their goaltending should be fine. They don't seem to have any serious flaws, but it's uneven results right now. It's not. I mean, it's a tough league to win in, but you'd think if they were peaking, they'd be peaking now. Their coach says that they may have been the victim of their own sort of expectations. They expected to win every game. They thought it was going to be easy, and it's never easy in this league, and they're finding that out.
It doesn't feel right now, though, does it? When you're watching them and you're thinking, okay, they have another level to get to. They saw what happened last year in the playoffs, and they're going to turn that light switch on and get going. The way they have played has not demonstrated that they're ready for the playoffs, and we'll see if they can turn it around quickly.
Who do you think wins it?
I think St. Louis wins it. I like the end of their season schedule. I think they've come a long way. You hope that they don't take a deep breath, but I don't think Craig Berube is going to allow his team to do so. And being led by this guy all season long, Ryan O'Reilly, you can be sure that St. Louis is going to show up for the last couple of games in the regular season. Tarasenko scoring now, that's a huge factor. And really, most importantly, they've been getting great goaltending and defending well in front of Jordan Binnington. Parayko's really had a strong second half. Petrangelo's done a great job, and they're getting some goal scoring from the back end from players like Vince Dunn along the way. So there's a lot to appreciate about what St. Louis has done in the second half of the season.
It'd be an incredible story. They were dead last in the league on January the 3rd. They could potentially win their division. Craig Berube, who knows, he could walk away with Coach of the Year. The Stanley Cup Playoffs begin on Wednesday, April the 10th. Every game of every round can be seen on the networks of NBC Universal.